Welcome back to Call the Nurse, your weekly dose of life support. And we know that laughter can be medicine. And our guest today is a pro at bringing us all to laughter. Cedric the Entertainer is an award-winning comedian, actor, producer, director, all-around legend, making us laugh for the last 3 decades or more. He's proven that laughter is medicine, and he uses his platform to heal hearts through humor. So who better else to talk about laughter as medicine than Cedric the Entertainer himself? Thank you for gracing us with your presence and your wine, because I mean, nothing is quite complete with you without a little glass of wine.
Shall we?
I mean, cheers. Thank you. I
mean, I don't know about you judge me.
Nurses don't typically drink on the job, but you know.
But a nurse with a podcast, that's different.
And
yeah. I would draw that attention to you and say, hey, relax.
Right. And you would call that nurse. Right, you would call that
nurse.
That
would be the nurse I would call.
Thank you.
Night nurse.
Absolutely.
Big shout out to this wine. I want to say thank you, though, because this wine is named after my mother, Rosetta, and she passed of cancer in 2015. I was just trying to figure out somehow to create legacy for her, and I met this great vendor up in Napa Valley, and we started talking about the idea and how we can contribute, how we can honor my mother, and so we created this wine. And so with this, I give back. She was a reading specialist for over 30 years.
Wow.
And so we give back to literacy programs all around the world with Rosetta Red Rose Reads. And so this is wine. I got a white, a red,
say a red, yeah,
and a Napa red. So a higher end red that has won some awards and all this.
Nice.
So.
Well, I know I've already drank all the bottles that you've already given me.
Yes.
I know that's shocking. I love them, and I'm glad that we get to drink these today. And I love that, I didn't know that until recently, that this wine was named after your mom. I did not know that.
Yeah. I think that was, again, it was like a thing. I do enjoy wine, but the idea that was the only thing she drank. She was,
she did?
Yeah, she was, she wasn't much of a party or whatever, but whenever she did want to celebrate, she would get her a little glass of wine, and then she would toast a glass with a touch of class. And so I write that on the back of the bottle. You'll see that it's a toasted glass with a touch of glass.
I love
glass
that.
with a touch of class.
Well, that's you too.
Yeah.
Your mama taught you good.
A touch of class.
I love it. You got a little touch of class. We got our wine. We are going to talk all things mama and laughter and all the great things. Your mom. Now, the funny thing is that we are from.
Yes.
I mean, not in the same state,
but
30, 40 minutes away. So I'm from the northeast corner of Arkansas, and you're in Caruthersville.
Yeah, the southeast corner of Missouri, right?
Yeah, so, we're right there. And you were there till how long? Did your mom, is that where she was living?
My mother grew
when
up
she passed?
there, and I lived there till I was like 10 years old. So, but my mother moved. We moved to St. Louis at that time, but that is the place where I recognize as home, Caruthersville, Missouri. Boot Hill, down south.
Boot Hill. Oh my gosh, I have not heard that in a long time. You know what I think of though, Boot Hill? That was there's like some moonshine stuff that goes on out in the Boot Hill area. Oh. That's what
this is. We call it wine, but it's actually moonshine.
Oh, well, no. Excuse me. Hold on.
Excuse me. Let's get lit.
Oh,
lots of giggles.
Wow.
No,
I love it.
No, and again, you're from where in Arkansas? It's like
they call it Manila, but people get a little confused because of the Philippines and whatever. But it is a little northeast corner, right between Blytheville and Jonesboro. 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Memphis, Tennessee. So we're literally in that corner. So I just thought it was funny when I had a friend come out here and he knew the church that I think your parents, I remember texting you, were like, whoa, who's over at your house?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody knows who that is in the South, that church I think your uncle or somebody was at.
Yeah, my grandmother too, Mount Carmel, I think he said. Yeah.
It's a wild thing when you you feel like your worlds apart. Somehow we ended up in the same neighborhood. I'm not sure how that happened. I think because I got a husband who likes to work, so that's a good thing.
Doing good.
Doing good. When you were growing up there, you left at 10, but were you kind of in this, were you the funny guy, or were you just, what were you doing at around 10 years old that you thought,
I always had a gregarious personality, you know, like not necessarily knowing exactly what it is, but, you know, single parent household. It was my mother, my younger sister, and myself. A lot of cousins, of course, in that area. Big family, big extended kind of family around you. But my personality was one where I was the fun kid. Like, you know, I was definitely funny but you know, never knowing it like as a profession or anything like that. I just had a good time. I was fairly athletic too. Like I remember being younger, being, you know, one of the kids that hit a ball over the over the softball field, like hit it out the field, like at a young age, and everybody was like, "Whoa!"
Wow.
You know. And then I got older, and they started throwing the ball a lot faster, and I was like,
you're like, I'm out.
I'm gonna grab a microphone.
Right.
I don't want nobody throwing nothing at me.
Yeah,
You know
I'm gonna put the bat down and just grab a microphone.
Yeah. But then, you know, my grandmother passed, and then my mother just wanted to get out of there. It was too small for her, and we contemplate going to Chicago. I remember living in Chicago for just maybe a few months with one of her other brothers, and then we went to St. Louis, and it just kind of felt like that level in between, right? Like
absolutely.
Chicago is like super big city,
That's city,
really fast, and then St. Louis was this little combination of a city life. Plus, we would go there more. My mother had more relatives there in St. Louis than she had in Chicago.
And how long were you there in St. Louis?
In St. Louis from 10 till I moved out here in 94.
94. Can I ask how old you are when you moved out there?
When I lived in.
When you moved in 94, like were you were you
I was
in your
younger.
30s?
I was I was barely 30. I probably was like right at 29, 30. Yeah.
Got it. So you were young.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'd worked, you know, because I had to go to my mother was a school teacher, so I had to go to college, man. Like, you know, and I wasn't a great student.
You didn't have a choice, did you?
I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't a great student, but I studied mass communications, television, minored in theater, and I actually
minored in theater.
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting to me because, you know, I know that you're doing some stuff. It sounds like on Broadway soon. You've been doing your Vegas residency there. And I'm thinking, I did not know Cedric sang. I mean, I know I've heard you kind of sing here and there, but not like I didn't know when you came up with that show. Yeah. So I didn't know that theater was kind of, you know, in your background.
Yeah, a big part of it. Yeah. So, you know, and especially too back in those days, like everybody had singing groups. So I used to be in all these groups and like performing and you know, trying to sing to get the girls. You know what I mean? Like, gotta get the girl.
Absolutely. You got to get that bass going.
Yeah.
Tell them to come over, sing on the phone.
You know, girl.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
I think I want to say I invented that idea. You know, girl. All my life I've been.
Lord.
See what I'm saying? Like
is that the wine making me hot? Or what is it?
Let's go.
Goodness, Cedric. Lord, okay. Don't be doing that. I ain't got a fan in here. Obviously, you're funny. Do you think that's a gift, or do you think was there pain? I see so many people who are comedians that have this pain in their life. Yeah. It's like, did you have that, or you just kind of who you were?
No, I think I really had a really like joyous childhood and a good family structure where laughter was a part of it. So I would say mine was more of that kind of intuitive comedy, that kind of came from that because, you know, my mother was very loving, very attentive. Though my dad wasn't necessarily in the household, I didn't really miss that. I had uncles, we had cousins, your older cousins, and we laughed a lot. Like everybody laughed. A lot of uncles that are funny people that I would say were probably my greatest inspiration more than like big comedians. These people that I can just think of in my family that would just make me die laughing, right? And you would want to be a part of that crew, right? You
Right.
want to be in when they're talking, and hopefully,
And you
they
got to
let
like, I
in
got to crack a joke
yeah,
and maybe
yeah,
make
you
them
gotta,
laugh.
yeah, exactly. You want to be in on the circle with that group.
Right,
So
right.
I think that's, I really, I was talking to my good friend George Lopez about this the other day, and it was one of those things where he did have a lot more pain in his life than I recognized, and so. But that's not necessarily my story. So and I'm glad, because I think I deliver comedy like that.
Yes,
I
I
think I deliver
agree.
comedy from a far more for joyful kind of
Yes.
POV, and it's not like with this darkness under it that happens to
Yeah.
be funny.
Kind of this
because it's so dark.
sarcasm, the kind of,
Yeah.
self-critical, and then making
Yeah.
people laugh about, I probably could do that. I like maybe some daddy
got
issues
some
back in
things.
Arkansas. I got some things that I could probably, make fun of myself. We won't go there though.
Yeah,
That's another
No,
episode.
that's a whole different show. You got to call your own self. The
I
nurse. You need
know.
a different nurse.
Why do you think I'm doing this? This is like therapeutic for me. It's like, when I started this, I thought, man, I'm seeing so much in the hospital, like people dying or they're just sick, and I'm taking
Yeah.
care of them all the time. But then I feel like I was going through so much with my daughter, and I was going through so much, Alon and I, and marrying into a Jewish family. And he's an amazing man, but he's not the easiest guy to be married to, and remarriage. And I thought, I'm just going to talk about these things. We got code blues in the hospital. I got code blues in my house.
Yeah.
My heart's stopping with all kinds of things going on. So, you've built a career on joy and laughter, but what fills you up? Like, who makes you laugh? That's what I want to. Who makes Cedric laugh?
I'm a big fan of, I'm a big fan of all fun people, man. So my wife is really funny. My kids are hilarious. They're in their own quick-witted kind of way, like a lot of wit, right? But
Do they think you're funny?
yeah, they better. You know what I'm saying? No, they do.
They do. They genuinely.
no,
They're
they
not
think
like
I'm funny,
sick of
yeah.
like, okay, Dad. Like,
Yeah, because I'm not a jokester. That's so interesting. Like,
Sure.
a lot of people, because you're a comedian, a lot of people think that. I remember being on a plane one time, and it was like, this lady was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm a comedian and an actor or whatever. Tell me a joke." And I was
Oh,
like,
you're like, no, I don't do.
I'm like, I
jokes."
don't have it's not like a quarter machine.
Right.
It's like, here's one right
And then
here.
spit it out.
Movie phone.
Yeah.
No.
You
so-
could have made fun of her, and that would have been funny.
Which I did.
Yeah.
No, but no, that's not funny.
Yes.
Like, yeah, look at your teeth. No, but no. So,
You must have been flying back. From home.
I was going back. No.
We're bad. People
Or
are
a lack thereof.
Yes,
when I say
yes.
look at your teeth.
Yes,
When I-
yes.
No, but
twofers. We call them. We call them twofers.
but it is one of those things. And I love, again, great comedians. I'm a fan of a lot of them. I love all, like, some of the new guys, and of course, like I said, George Chappelle, D.L. Hewley, Steve, all these guys
All
that are
those
my
guys.
friends. I've had an opportunity to kind of become friends with. I appreciate
Yeah.
what they deliver and bring to the world.
So that's when you're having, because I'm guessing Cedric has bad days here and there. I mean, there's probably, times that what lifts you up? Is it laughing, or is it?
I think it's the combination of allowing yourself to kind of build really true friendships. Like, I thought about that the other day, while having a little disappointing moment. It's like knowing that I got this, far-reaching friend group of
Right.
people that I can be like, oh, this person is an expert in that, or
Sure.
this person is very wise in this subject matter, and right. And so, when you kind of have that ability to look through your mental, kind of Rolodex or associations, and be like, oh, then somebody
Yeah.
can call about
Yeah.
this thing. And I thought it was really, really dope. I was also, like, in that particular moment, a little surprised about people I couldn't call for certain things, and that surprised
interesting,
me,
right?
Like, because then I was like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
whoa, like, who can actually answer this very specific question?
Yes.
And that's interesting, especially when it's matters of the heart,
Right.
or like,
Well, and I'm guessing it too. You're
Yeah.
not wanting to just open up to kind of just
Exactly.
whoever. You got to really have them kind of trust and
Yeah.
somebody that's going to really listen. I feel like the more I get older, I kind of compartmentalize of like, this is the person I'm going to call when I really just need a laugh, and this
Yeah.
person over here I'm going to call when I just need them to tell me the truth and tell me
yes, exactly.
I'm being a little crybaby.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's so true. It's coming with celebrity, influence, money. You end up being the boss, right? You end up being this kind of person that you find very few people that's willing to kind of like just keep it super 100
Sure.
with you, right?
Yes.
And so I do think that I do have some very old friends, like people that, You know, even my tour manager has been with me since I was in junior high school.
Really?
My manager is we met freshman year in college. Like people have been around me like a long
Right.
time. And I got asked that question. It was like, how and why do I keep people so long? You know, and you wonder if it's about loyalty or is it the recognition that you feel like you can't get rid of people, like
Mm.
or that
Or maybe
part
they
of it's not
knew
right,
you kind of before.
or that they didn't sign an NDA. Like,
Right.
why can't
Oh,
I
right.
get rid of them? Because they know too
They
much.
know
I
things.
know things. No.
They're going to go sell a story or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
so interesting though. Like real.
I would just think you'd have to be a little, I don't know, a little cautious. This business is a little crazy. It's a little, you got
Yeah.
to be, who you
You think about
surround
when you
yourself with.
you bring people into your home to either clean up or
Yeah.
work and whatever, and they just
Yeah.
have access to things that you'd be like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah, that doctor and
yeah,
nurse that live down the street, like,
yeah,
don't let them come in our house.
yeah, they know things.
Yeah, I'm going to be checking
Yeah,
his blood pressure and making sure he's healthy and
and know that, like, what
go
if
through his
somebody
wine cabinet
and know that he's doesn't have good wine, like that's a thing.
well,
It's a thing to have.
I'd be
up
more.
on
I'm not worried
someone.
about that. I just want to make sure. I've been seeing you work out lately. I've been
Yeah.
seeing you doing some personal training. I just want to make sure you're taking care of yourself because I'm your personal nurse.
Yeah,
So
that's really that's good too because I'm not. Most of my life, I've really been fairly a person that is not excessive, but the fact that I have the ability to go into the finest restaurants and drink the best this and do that, I've always given myself reason to not necessarily be focused or honor the health side of it, right? Like because you just trust, like, hey man,
yeah,
if I can afford this steak, I'm gonna eat it.
yeah,
And
be a
it's
little
the only
overindulgent.
overindulgent for
Yeah.
no reason. So, but now you get older. I'm 61, man. So you get
61.
I'm 61, man.
I wouldn't.
You
I
can tell,
no, I
yeah.
didn't. No, I
Look at that
promise
block.
you, I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one thing I didn't look up on you was your
Zaddy.
age. You look. I know.
Zaddy ladies.
No, I know. That's my little crush over here. And Lorna gonna kill me. I can't be talking about you being my crush. Oh my goodness. Alon's, my husband's, he started getting to high blood pressure, and he's locked in now, like working out. Now he's like making me feel all lazy and stuff. And just
Yeah.
get older, stuff starts happening. But 61 said, man, goodness.
Yeah, you gotta
So, but on piggybacking on that, how did you become the entertainer?
Oh man, that's interesting. It's a wild story that kind of goes back early on in my career. I used to go by a lot of different names. When I first started, it was just like Cedric. Then at one time I went by Cheerio.
Cheerio.
And
Purposefully, like you felt like you needed a stage name. Why Cheerio?
She said purposely.
Yeah, so,
Like think of
like
what
you-
you're saying out loud.
like you were eating Cheerios.
And
I
you
was like,
decided to do that in a
Cheerio?
real way. Yeah,
Okay.
it was like people had these kind of names. You think about like Sinbad.
Yeah.
You think about it was a actor. A comedian named Kodak at one time, and I
Hmm.
thought like this kind of one word synonym kind of idea for a name made sense, right? And so I was like, my name starts with a C, Cedric, and I'm here for cheer and happiness.
Was that where Cheerio came from?
Cheerio.
Oh, I get it. That's awesome.
I'm almost sure I was drinking hooch at the time.
Hooch.
I don't know, but I locked in for a minute. But the entertainer name came about because I got popular. I was like in St. Louis, and I would perform a lot, But I was young, so I didn't have a lot of jokes. I would do maybe like 5 minutes of jokes, but I did because I was a theater, because I was a theater minor, because I'd sang in different groups. I would fill my time up with doing all kinds of things, right?
Got it.
So
You
because
weren't
that's
just a
how you got
one-man
paid.
show, right?
Right.
So you're entertaining in different levels.
That's how you get paid in comedy. It's almost it's by how much time you do. So if you do, 5 to 10 minutes, you're an opener. If you can do 15 to 30 minutes, then you can be a middle. And if you can do 45 to an hour, then you're the headliner, right?
But who
idea.
determines if you can do the 30 or 45?
Well, it's the people that's paying, right? So
Okay.
they're watching you, and they're kind of deciding like, how good you are.
I see.
And I only had like 5 minutes to 8 minutes worth of jokes, but I would entertain people for 30 minutes because I wanted the money that came with the 30 minutes. I'd went to college, I was working. And if you're an opening act, that was like 100 to 150. But if you're a middle act, then that's 350 to 550. So me being a college graduate, I'm like, I need at least 350 when I go. Like I gotta have.
You knew what you
350.
needed.
I'm like, I'm not going there for $100. So I gotta be able to know how to do 30 minutes worth of, hey, I got your attention for 30 minutes. So I would sing songs, I would do poems, I had dance routines. And so a guy was introducing me one night and he was like, he kept calling everybody a comedian. He was like, this next comedian is this next comedian is that. And he was about to introduce me. I was like, don't call me a comedian because I don't have enough jokes. Just tell him I'm an entertainer. And he was like, Cedric the Entertainer.
I love it.
And I went up and I killed it and I got a standing ovation. And when I got off, he called me Cedric the Entertainer again. And I just kept it. I was like, that's my name.
Well, it is your name because you don't even say, no one says your last name anymore. You're just like, that's, is that like trademarked? I mean, is that yours?
It
is.
Yeah.
It is yours. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
So when you go home in the afternoon or whenever, if you're ever home, do you walk through the door and like, it's not necessarily entertainer anymore, right? It's
For
Cedric
sure.
Kyles, like your dad, your husband.
For sure.
You're not necessarily, you feel.
And I love that. I love the idea of the two places,
Yes.
right? Because it's something about being at home, being with your, your wife and your kids and your loved ones, and the expectation of the stardom is not there, right?
Right.
That responsibility is gone, though you as Cedric Kyles is still very important, but it's also very important that I get to kind of pull off the showman.
Sure.
You know,
And
show
you can
jacket.
take off the mask a little bit. Not that I feel like you are very genuine no matter
but that's
where
playing.
you are. But do you think marriage and fatherhood has kept you grounded in this kind of chaotic industry?
Oh, without a doubt. I
Yeah.
mean, without that, I mean, I would be, ain't no telling. I'd act
Tell
like
us, tell
like
us
a
where,
rock
tell us
star.
where Cheerio would be.
Cheerio?
Tell us where
Oh,
Cheerio
my
would
God.
be.
Could you imagine Cheerio would be all on TMZ, like falling out of a limo? Like, there he is, the comedian, Cheerio.
Cheerio got a little crunchy.
Another red. He's definitely no honey nut. He's gotten a little soggy. He
gotten a
stayed in the
little
milk a
soggy.
little too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He's
no.
turning into a corn flake. We gotta do something different.
He's a little honey bunch of O's now.
I think you need to take me on tour. I think I'm part of it.
Yeah.
Did you know I have some statistics on laughter. I want
Oh.
to see if you know these things.
Oh wow.
Because you didn't know it. I don't know. You're a healer. Did you know that?
No.
You are. You know, when I go to work sometimes, I see patients like really sick ones, like laughing at you on the neighborhood, which I find really cool because I think, oh my gosh, that person was miserable yelling at me earlier because they're in so much pain. And I look at, you're up there making people laugh. So laughter triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals, and can reduce physical pain for up to 45 minutes after a good laugh. Did you know that?
Oh, that's great news.
We purposefully turn on comedy shows in the hospital just so kind of distract and make people laugh so they're not so focused on what we're doing to them. Kind of works better than morphine sometimes. It lowers cortisol and adrenaline, the body's stress hormones, which supports immune function and heart health.
Okay.
Anticipating laughter increases dopamine, improving mood and focus. Aren't you already feeling improved mood and focus?
Yeah.
We're on
a
serious call, and then you're already. Laughter improves circulation, oxygenates the blood, promotes relaxation and better healing responses. Yeah, you're almost a doctor right now.
I'm gonna say that now instead of like.
Yeah.
Just like Alon, I'm going to say this now before I do a show. Guys, I'm about to go do surgery.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little
Absolutely.
hour-long surgery.
And now it's Cedric the
people.
Entertainer,
Yeah,
MD.
MD.
Or,
Yeah.
And studies
good
have
stuff.
shown that cancer patients
Oh.
who engaged in humor therapy reported reduced anxiety and improved quality of life. So, did you ever consider that your gift of laughter is healing?
I mean, of course, that's like a an old saying, right? Laughter is the best medicine, and all these things. And you do recognize that. I've heard stories like this before. Like someone would tell me, like their dad was in the hospital. He loved watching me. We got this. We got one of your specials, or we saw this TV show, or they watched this movie, and it just made him feel so much better. And they would go like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
But like hearing it statistically,
Like physiologically, like what it does in the body.
yeah. But
interesting.
But hearing the statistics of it is interesting because I don't think you actually, any of us even recognize that about ourselves. The fact that when we laugh, there is a great release of all those things that are bogging you down, right? Like when
Yeah.
you are, we can consider a laugh with a friend and like trust it and know that like
Right.
this was great, but not that it healed me at the moment, right? Not the consciousness that.
But healing others,
Man,
though.
right? Yeah, that's really good though. That's good stuff. I like that. I will make sure I get those statistics, when I leave because
I'll
wanna-
charge
I
a
feel
small
like
fee.
it's a funny way to kind of make this an interesting point of view on stage, right? I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but
Well, I
I
mean,
like
and
this.
call the nurse. I mean, I got to make something medical, out of this. It is
Yeah,
true
so
that
you're
that
doing it.
laughter is medicine, but you're right. We use that term, but it
Yeah.
truly is. I mean, there's an actual thing called like laughter therapy. I believe it's laughter therapy that
Yeah.
people do like with cancer patients.
Yeah, giving up, and now that I've been doing it like 30 plus years, would that make me like an ologist though? Like, would I be like a laughologist?
Oh,
Like, I would have a little bit more of a,
Yeah.
more of a title, not just regular MD.
I think you
Like,
could go do
really-
rounds on patients
Yeah,
at this
I would be a
point.
specialist of some
Yeah.
sort. Like,
What would be
like a-
interesting is if somebody was in pain or had high blood pressure and we let you kind of come in and kind of do
Yes.
your thing.
Hello, I'm Dr. Cedric.
Yes, yes.
How are you? Like,
Yes,
I've got
yeah.
great bedside manner.
Make them
And then
laugh.
like, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then
stop
we
it.
check their blood pressure.
And then you're like, oh, well, you doing, wow.
We should try this.
Wow. Look
Yeah.
at that. Look at you.
Do you know what you're doing right
feeling
there,
great?
though? By the
No,
way,
I have
you're
no
not really in the
idea.
right spot, but do you know what you're doing when you're doing that? You're look. I just check in. I just wanted to know. We got to
Why-
work on a few
it's
things.
on camera. Why did you tell
No,
me
I
I'm
just
not-
wanted to know
'cause
if you
I'm
we got to
way
work.
up here.
It's
here.
it's
I'm in the region. It was the Rolex.
It's-
so it's here.
Oh, it's the wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to mess with that one. Yeah,
So
it's
what am I
close.
doing?
Checking the
It's
pulse.
pulse. Yeah, of
you're
course.
just
Yeah.
going like more right here,
Where?
more right in that little divot right there. It's
Yeah.
okay. We'll work on it
Oh, I
later.
can
We
feel
got to
it.
work on your.
Feeling, yeah. Yeah.
Get your heart rate up. That laughter is calming you down.
Why is that?
Ba-boom.
Seems like it's playing looking for the perfect beat, like an old breakdancing song that's going on in
Knock
there.
yourself out. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, man, man. I didn't know this would be
Oh,
this much
man.
fun.
Wow.
I'm healed. I am healed.
Actually mixed it.
Hallelujah. Okay. Whew. Well, I was leading on to my next question. I don't even want to ask. Yeah, maybe that's a little too serious right now. I got the warm fuzzies right now. My heart rate's going up. Hold on. I don't think mine's the same song. I feel a little Luther. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Never too much, never too much.
Yeah, love that.
Okay. Well, what is your secret, if there's a secret, to staying relevant? I mean, you may have been asked this 100 times, but you see people kind of come and go, and there's been a few, but you've been able to. That's hence the entertainer part of you. You've been able to like really go. Has it been? How many years have you been in this business?
35, like 30.
Yeah. So you have to admit that's a really, and I see you everywhere.
a lot of places.
I'm on Delta flight. You're right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to the mall. There's some AC barbecue sauce and Arby's.
Yeah.
He brought me some stuff. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I see you, Vegas
Yeah.
thing everywhere. And some people seems like they just stick to comedy, but you literally are doing everything. Is that how you stay relevant? You just kind of start going in different directions?
You know, I really do love to entertain people. So and I'm a bit of a workaholic, but not in a way that I stress it out. Like
Right.
like you said,
Yeah, like my
I
husband.
I like to be busy, and I prefer to be busy. And so it's a lot of times I don't really, I just don't give people a lot of no's. Only if it's necessary and it's like certain things. But if it's something I can do and I'm looking forward to it,
Mm-hmm.
I remember like we tried to work on this for a long time, but I always assured you I was going to do it.
You
And
did.
you're like Cedric, Cedric, and I was like, man, I got you. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it.
I mean,
Like
I
I'm
backed
like,
off, but then when I said I'm going to pull a Dana pump on you,
oh, boy,
you got
well,
serious.
Well, that's what happens. Anybody knows. Once they start tracking you down,
They never lose your number.
yeah, they got that other show Tracker with this dude. But that's
I
the
know,
one.
right? Right. No, I knew you would. I know you're busy.
But I do think that is, one of the keys is that I love to do it all. Like, so, I look for ways to be fresh and to find challenges for myself. And so I think that really allows your audience to be able to be a little bit surprised when they see you in different places, and at the same time see you in different places.
Right.
So it's like, man, you everywhere, but they're not the same thing. Like,
They're not. And not only that, it's not
Right.
like they're flopping either.
Right,
Like I look
no.
at the Vegas thing, which I was trying to get out there, but it's like they're doing really well.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, Vegas, Cedric
yeah.
tried to do that Vegas thing. Thank God Tony Braxton was there, but
Right,
that's
right.
not
No,
what
that's
happened.
not how it works. Like it's so big and it's fun. It's different than what you expect. And
Yeah.
because I know so many people. I mean, even Tony's fans. Because I used to think about that. Like peak pop divas. R&B divas. They have these hardcore fan bases, and I remember like on one of the first shows, people was like, oh, what is he doing on the show? But when you see the combination
Yeah.
and the way it works, you like, man, that was beautifully done.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch. And now I get it. Right?
Yeah.
So
And it's
that's
a little
the point.
surprising. I think your fans too, they're like, what's he doing now? Like, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
go follow that. What would you, if you had an opportunity to go back to young Cedric, maybe young Missouri Cedric, what would you tell him now?
Man, I think, it is the idea is to dream big, even trust yourself even more. Because I think like so many people, we kind of doubt ourselves from even making a move.
Right.
I was late, to a lot of degrees. I didn't really start my journey until I was 26,
That's
27.
late, huh?
That's kind of late, right? It's young, for young people when you think
Yeah.
about it, but now we live in a day of like kind of social media influencing and people, and you used to feel like people find their identity much younger and go for it, right? Because
Yes.
well, it's not in front of everybody. It's only in front of yourself, right?
Yes.
And then the idea of likes and finding an audience is all about
Yeah.
it being virtual.
We're in a whole
But at
other
our
world,
time,
right.
we had to go out
Right.
and literally get personal criticism. Like, so if you doubted yourself for any reason, you can prevent yourself from doing a number of things. And I think a younger me, if I was talking to a younger me, would be to trust the fact that, knowing that, just do it, man,
Yeah.
and don't worry about it. And I got kids, so I talk to my sons and my daughters about that. Even now, it's like like that idea, that fear of failure is the thing that'll stop you from actually getting to where you're
So
going.
true.
So you just got to dive. You may not have it all right, but that's
That's a messy action.
that's really not where your journey is going to
Sure.
end. And if you trust that, then
Yeah.
that's only going to inform where you're headed.
Yes.
But you can't do it if you don't start. If
I
you don't
agree.
start.
I remember talking about doing this podcast, and I would be like, oh, it's like I was so nervous. And Alon's a go-getter. He's a lot. You and him are a lot alike.
Yeah.
And he'd just be like, look, when you doing this, what do you? But it's scary. It's scary putting yourself out there. But I knew I love to talk to people. I enjoy it. But it was like you're worried what people think. And I'm really amazed with you
Yeah.
too. Like I can't ever recall. Not that I'm that old or anything, but I don't recall in my years that you've not gotten like canceled. I can't even recall you even really getting criticized. I've heard other people maybe say a little.
Yeah.
There's been a few that have been a little.
Yeah,
There was
chippy.
one. There was one time recent.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just you don't talk about
Yeah,
my
exactly.
man like
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
You don't talk about him like
You
that.
don't do that.
Who do you think you are?
Exactly.
But you really, even this in social media world, you've been able to behave,
Yes.
and not because people today will just rip you to shreds.
It's so
You've been able to
true.
stay relevant and avoid cancellation.
No, that's so true. And I don't take that for granted because, it can happen to people for little or nothing, right? Like you have no idea what turns people on you, like for some reason,
It can
right?
be the craziest
So
thing too.
exactly. And you think you're being funny or, I remember I had this joke one time, and this only happened to a small group of people, but I said this joke on stage, and it was like, it was like in this world when, the LGBTQ community was starting to like really like define themselves and stand up, and the joke, of course, is not, in my opinion, it wasn't mean spirited, but
Sure.
for this lady, because the platform was getting bigger, and because I felt like the idea of being able to stand up and come out and be exactly who you want to be
Yeah,
at any
very
given
different
time.
from years ago.
Right.
Right.
Like she was empowered, and she came at me, but it was a lesson.
Like while you're on stage, or
It was after I came off stage, boom, boom, and she was upset, and she had gathered her folks. But again, it was a lesson to that point. It didn't turn into a big deal, but it was also one of being able to hear,
or
being
seek
able
to
to
understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
and get an understanding. I didn't take it as I didn't take it as like it was an admonishment, but it was one that afterwards, like being able to see her POV, you can like,
You learn
all
from
right,
it.
cool, right,
Yeah.
bad. And I think that that's important. Like that people, like a lot of times, the idea of canceling people is to literally admonish you from something, as opposed to, hey man, you're wrong on this POV.
Sure.
Let me explain it to you. And if you can, if you can decide, and after listening to it, that you like, all right, I can see your
But
POV.
at the same time, like, don't you think that sometimes it's like that's comedy? Like you can
Yeah,
laugh
that's
at.
the other
I mean,
thing.
we're all making fun of something.
That's
I
the
mean,
other
and
side of
unless
it,
it's
right?
yourself, it's like how do you like if we get to a point we can't just laugh about even serious issues, then you're not going to be able to talk about any topics without making fun of something.
And that's the thin
Is
line
that a
of it
fine
all,
line?
right?
Do you
That's the
think
fine
about
line.
that now with social media? Like when you're doing things, do you have to like
Sometimes.
sometimes think, oh, I could, man, this would be so funny, but I better not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes, I mean, and you have to be honest, you do have to weigh that out,
You
because
do.
you're right.
Social media, it's like wildfire.
And it's comics that are super brave, that'll just like dive in, and hit any subject matter. And but I say they usually don't have a TV show on CBS. They don't have contracts in Vegas, like these things that anybody can take that, and
Sure.
then they can turn it against
Yeah.
you to where your deals go away.
Yeah.
If you're a raw, solid stand up and you just do stand up,
Yeah.
then you do have the freedom to
Yeah.
actually.
I feel like you found like
Yeah, that
the
line.
really great balance because you're able to just stay funny without having to really like kind of go
Yeah, go
really
dark. Yeah.
go really dark. When you've seen some of these comedians, some of the like legends or just Saturday Night Live people or like a Robin Williams, you see these
What's
people.
going on with your staff over here? What is
My
like?
staff. She's
Were
not
they,
my
like-
staff.
Were they like kissing
Yes.
each other?
Oh, what
Like,
are we doing? Are they making
like,
out
what
over
was
there?
happening? Is that
What's
is
going
that a
on?
thing? I was like, what is
Lord,
that?
do you guys
kind
need
of
some
camera?
wine?
What kind
I
of
have 4 bedrooms in
kind
here.
of camera, man? I was like, I think there should be some human resources
I'm
happening.
just like, I'm just like, do you have eyes at the side of your head? Like, what are you talking about? What's going on? Are we? Oh, wait, we don't stop a good thing from going. When you see some of these, like somebody like a Robin Williams or some of these people who are just incredible with comedy, taking their lives or just
Yeah.
tragedies, does that what do you feel when you hear like another, like Farley, like all these different guys that they're so funny, they make people so happy, and yet obviously there's something going on. When you hear of another one happening at times, do you feel like, ugh, like,
Yeah,
you get it? Do you understand? I mean, I don't know if we ever understand, but
it kind of goes back to a question you asked me earlier, because I don't really do comedy from pain. Like a lot of pain. I empathize with someone
I
who's
see.
suffering that much, right? Because it's internal, right? And you really see the genius, and you wonder if it's that combination, right? That genius in that suffering that allows them to say so many prolific things. Richard Pryor was another one. Even somebody like Jim Carrey, had talked
Yeah.
about his levels of depression
Yeah.
and he's fighting through it. But, these guys are like on a higher plane of being able to kind of like spit their truths out, right? Where they're extremely funny and wild and things they say on stage is like craziness,
Self-deprecating.
right? Yeah, you're like, yo. But, right, the moment that it leads to their demise, the moment it leads to their death is when it becomes very clear, like, man, I wish it wasn't all about the funny, right? I wish somebody could saw him as a human being and been able to kind of help that. But a lot of guys protect that because that's what they trust to allow them to go on stage. So they protect their destructive behavior,
Yeah.
even from people that love them, because
Yeah.
they don't want you to kind of take their mojo, if you will.
Yeah.
And not knowing that it's just leading them down a darker and darker path.
Yeah. It
So,
seems like some of them, like you said, self-deprecating, but they're funny. It's therapy for them, but then it becomes where not even that is working.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. And then when you look up and you see like that's the, and you see these legends kind of like just going out, just, basically and ran the course. They're just tired.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think your upbringing has, I'm vibrating down here. Sorry. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry. It was under me.
I
was
hope that's a phone.
edit. Sorry.
Elon's got that machine. He's got that thing.
Yeah, he's got the remote.
He's got that remote. Like, hey, now.
Lord, we gotta do some edits. Definitely feel that is not. You are extremely humble considering how, I don't know, just how successful you are. Do you think that comes from family? Do you think that has helped you have a humility that maybe it doesn't, or is it growing older in this this industry that?
I think it's a combination, and I always attribute it to that Midwest thing, that kind of Southern, like watching people, knowing that that humanity kind of always lands in the middle, right?
Yes.
When you live in a small town,
Yep.
the degrees of separation of like who's got what is not as much as when you're out here, right?
Absolutely.
And so you kind of grow up understanding like, all right, dog,
Yeah.
like, one thing doesn't make you better than the next
Yeah.
person.
And then you've been
Because-
without though,
Right,
right? Like, and you've
exactly.
been without. I feel like that, even Alon and I, we were getting married and he had all this stuff. And I just was like, I'd kind of rather go live in a cardboard box than to deal with all this, stuff that you're dealing with and
Yeah.
the decisions he has to make and whatever. It just, you've been without. But I think it does create some roots of humility.
Yeah.
But you've been able to sustain it for years.
And I trust that. I trust the fact that makes me comfortable knowing that, really my job is to come in and do my job and not necessarily expect people to give me respect because I've already done something before, right? Like every time I show up, it's got to be about what I'm doing right now. Otherwise, I tell my kids that too. Like, I mean, you can't tell me your grades from when you was in the 10th grade and you made all A's. Like, nobody want to hear that
Yeah,
right now.
nobody
Like,
cares.
what you do today,
Yeah.
bro?
Nobody even
Like,
cares where you went to school, where you went to
like
college.
all of that stuff. So, and again, I'll say at the end of the day, these things help. Like, people, I went to Harvard. Okay, but what you know now?
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Because that's all old, as dope as it
Right.
is. It's all from another time,
Yeah.
right?
It's on a piece of paper somewhere in a box, probably.
Please. So the humility has to show up and know. And I was like, in almost any situation, you can always be a freshman.
Absolutely.
You can always end up being the new person there.
Yeah.
And like, what do you know? So if you're the richest guy, but you're in a room full of doctors, you got the most money, but you don't know how to do surgery.
You can't even talk. You can't even talk to him. You know what to talk about.
What's the ego about?
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Like, what's the ego about? Like, so and I use that when I do meet people that have funky egos and the thing. My way to disarm them is knowing Like, in the end of the day, I'm probably more famous than your ass. But, I'm not throwing that on you.
That's probably true.
I'm not throwing it on you, fam. Like, I'm just gonna do me and walk in, watch me recognize the housekeeper, watch
Right.
me recognize
Right.
the cousins and the mama and them sitting
Yes.
down that can't get up. I'm gonna go to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be the guy like everybody need to,
Yeah.
run to me and I'm in the corner and I got my sunglasses on and like so corny. Like
Yeah.
it's all the act that has nothing to do with real life.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. What do you hope that people, your audience, us, all of us, all your fans and friends remember about you, but not only as an entertainer, but as a dad, a husband? I think you're a grandfather too, right?
Yeah, got a little grand cookie.
Yeah, those
She
grand
nice.
cookie.
She
I heard
nice.
those grandbabies just do something to people. You can let them cry and have a fit and have fun with them. And you're like, okay, mama, you can take them home.
Yeah, she's
What do you-
9 years old now. It's like
9?
crazy,
Oh
man.
my
Like,
gosh, I thought you had some.
Yeah, she a
know all the
whole little
babies.
machine at this point now.
She's running the show now.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you hope people remember about you, your legacy of laughter, but also a family man?
Yeah, I think, I love that. I think people should, I would want people to remember that I did it with style.
Yes, you did.
Word.
Yes, you did.
But with a joyous attitude, and that it represented, being a part of the community. I think that, the way I try to deliver comedy, the way that I try to live as an example, is a part of the whole, right? So, you do it where you honor the people that love you. You rep, your family. I always tell my kids that, like, it's one thing for me to be your father, but you got to think it's certain times when I pull up to the school, I'm your dad.
Right.
They know you. They don't know me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you got to put
They may
something.
think they know you.
Yeah, I mean, even if I come with any degree of celebrity or they watch the TV show, at the end of the day, that's your peer group.
Yes.
So, I need to be proud to be Croy's dad,
Yes.
Lucky's dad. Like it can't always be on me. So,
Yeah.
I think that is, and I think that's what I would like to share with, with the world, like the idea that we actually owe it to each other to be dope for each other.
Yes.
And I repped y'all, right?
Yeah.
That's basically
Yeah.
my brand. I repped for the whole squad, right? Like, so that's what you remember about saying he put it on for us.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I love that. My stepdaughter and your daughter were in the same class together. They were like on homecoming court together, and
Nice.
I know we were. Well,
Yeah.
I want to do one quick, lighthearted nursing round. In nursing rounds, you just do little quick questions. Can I ask
Ooh.
you a couple of
Okay.
quick questions?
Okay.
Okay. If laughter is medicine, what is your favorite daily dose?
That's fast. That's a fast question.
Come on, you're a doctor now. What are you
Wow.
talking about? You're a laughologist.
Yeah. My favorite daily dose is Instagram skits.
Okay. What would you prescribe for someone having a bad day?
I would prescribe the Kings of Comedy. Watch the Kings of Comedy.
Well, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I like that. Which celebrity do you think could use a good laugh right now, and why?
A celebrity that could use a good laugh right now.
Maybe they just need to
bruh.
lighten
They
up.
need to lighten it up. And when you say celebrity,
And you can tell me, and you don't have to say why. But
yeah, but I do think that anybody anybody who's reporting the news.
I knew you were going to say something about. You're so
Good
right.
Lord,
Both sides.
please,
Yes. That is so true.
yes.
They need to go watch
They-
Kings of
They
Comedy.
need to just. Please, I know their day is stressful.
You're right. What instantly lifts up your spirits, no matter what's going on?
Instantly lifting my spirit probably is a phone call from my sister.
Is
or
she
my
back
kids.
Is she still in Missouri?
She's
she's here.
Yeah, she's a professor at Pepperdine.
Oh,
So,
yes, I
that's
did know
right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what lifts you up.
Yeah,
That's so sweet.
Yeah, because it was just she and I and my younger sister, but so we end up being really best friends. to
What's
each
the age
other.
difference?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, I'm an only child, so I'm sure you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
So So I wouldn't know about
Yeah.
that brother sister. Well, I kind of have a half sister. That's a whole different episode. If you weren't an entertainer, I was going to say comedian, but we're not just sticking to comedian.
Yeah.
What would Cedric be?
Oh, I would probably be a TV host of like Access Hollywood or something like that.
That was my dream job. Do you know
Yeah.
what I did?
I actually had that job.
You did not.
I did.
You did not. Do you know what? When I moved to LA, I was 21. I know the show's not about me, but we're going to have a me moment. When I was 21, I moved out here. I drove out here in my little Sunfire. I had $900 in my pocket. It was scary. I'd never been on a freeway before because there's no stoplights in my town. Population 2,000. Go Manila, Arkansas.
Let's go.
I wanted to be Entertainment Tonight host. And Mary Hart was retiring.
Legend.
I wrote a letter to Entertainment Tonight.
And the response was?
Well, I mean, obviously,
You're nursing.
I wasn't even a nurse at the time. I could barely understand me. I had such a thick accent.
Yeah.
Talking to people, but that was my dream job. That's what I really want to do. But I mean, I'm kind of feel like I'm doing it right now.
You are.
Look who I got here. I got
you
Cedric.
manifested.
Right?
Yes.
So
I
I just created my own Entertainment Tonight. So that's awesome. I could totally see you doing that. Why'd you turn that down?
Well, actually, it was interesting. I actually got the job. I was at a CBS affiliate doing it. They were doing them locally at one time, right? Every channel, news station would have their version of the kind of fun news, the entertainment news guy. And I actually got a job in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where I was in college. And then before my job ever got started, something happened corporate-wise, and I was fired before I even got to work. They hired me, and then I was supposed to start maybe like a month later, and somewhere in that month, something corporate happened, and they lost the money for my salary, and it was like, we don't have it. Sorry. It's over.
Wow. Well,
I was like,
well, I mean, listen, it led you here, right?
I could have been like Mario Lopez, like it's like super tight sweaters.
You can still do that.
Just sexy sweaters.
I know.
Tight T-shirts. Just,
You're right.
just Cheerio.
And be named Cheerio.
Yes, we Cheerio talking about the latest in the Leo DiCaprio news.
Leo DiCaprio, where he's long gone, I think, by now.
No, he's back. Leo's still popping.
Is he?
Yeah, no, he's got a great movie out.
I just know well, never mind.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Broadway? What's coming up? What do we get to look forward to?
Yep. So we're on the final season of The Neighborhood. So I'm doing my shows in eight seasons on CBS Monday nights.
Awesome.
Also produced a show that'll be coming on November 3rd called Crutch that people should see, starring Tracy Morgan. I'm the executive producer and have that product.
Is that a sitcom or
It's
that's
a sitcom for Paramount Plus. You can watch all of that. And then I'll be going to Broadway. I'm going to star in August Wilson's Joe Turner's Coming Gone. That's with Taraji P. Henson.
I mean, that is incredible.
Ruben Santiago Hudson, myself.
How long is that going to run? I mean, I guess
that'll run from, we'll open in April and run to August, basically, like 16, 17 weeks in New York on Broadway at the Barrymore Theater. Y'all pull up on us.
You're gonna let me, I can come and get
please.
tickets.
You gotta come to it.
I don't think there's anything you haven't done when it comes to entertainment. I think that is.
I've been directing on my show. I do, now I'm like approaching some horror movies. I got some ideas. You love horrors? I just got a couple of ideas that I got. I met with a great team.
If you need an extra or just a little something, let me know. And then you got this barbecue thing here.
You got to shout out AC Barbecue.
Oh my God.
This is.
I'm from the South, so why do I have this as opposed to going back home to Memphis? And what's different? What's special?
So this is me and Anthony Anderson, my good friend, comedian Anthony Anderson. I'll just kind of show you.
Please let me know. I don't want to drop it.
There's a beautiful picture in there, and then so this is a little gift pack. But you get the AC sauces, 3 rubs, and we got 2 sauces. We also have a restaurant in Citrus City now that you can go by and eat the food. And but we started this brand because we both love the idea of grilling and cooking. I'm from Missouri, St. Louis, of course,
Yes.
And Anthony's family is from Arkansas, and so his dad is from
Anthony
Little Rock
Anderson's?
area. Yeah, but Anthony grew up out here. but his
But his
dad was
family.
from Little Rock, and so
We love barbecue.
Yeah, we love it, and so we wanted to honor what that culturally what barbecue means to us.
Love it.
And so we created this product, and we're doing great, man.
And these are dry rubs and sauces. You could do chicken and some pulled pork and some
fish. You on the lemon stepper.
Do you know a Boston butt? We do Boston butts.
Boston butt,
Boston butts
of
back
course
home.
You can do this.
Wow.
The all day is a little more spicy. The gold has got a Carolina kind of base with a little more mustard, but it's great. I love it. They're both this one. They're amazingly delicious. I bought you a copy of my my book. This is the soft cover.
Yes,
this book.
yes. Thank you.
Grab that. It's called Flipping Boxcars. This is my first novel. I have 2 books. I have a book called Grown Ass Man, which is kind of like the story of me coming to me. And that's a little older. But Flipping Boxcars I released last year. And this was a story about me never meeting my grandfather.
I started to say, I remember something about a grandfather. Yes, I do remember this.
My mother's father. That everybody would tell me that
they remind them of you.
Him, yeah, he was an entrepreneurial personality. He was a stylish personality.
Oh, I love
it. He was this kind of but in the era of the the late 40s where the underworld was kind of the only thing that you can do.
Did you meet him? Did you
never met him?
But you're almost like him. They think. I love that.
Stories. So through my uncles and through my moms and some of the stories they had, I created his world. I created a world that I thought of who he was as a person, with a little bit of true stories and a mixture of fantasy and fiction. And again, a thing that I wanted to try because I had it in my head.
Yeah.
Like, I got this story I want to tell, but it's not a biography about him. It's just a thing that I kind of made up his life.
Or maybe how you visualized him to be.
Exactly. So
I don't know how you have all the time to do all of these things, and stopping by today to do this with me, like really, really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I am gonna read this while I'm on my Delta flight, watching you on the commercial, and then eating my barbecue that's coming from. Like, you're everywhere. You're everywhere.
Like drinking wine too.
Don't worry about that. I'm gonna drink my wine. But thank you, Cedric. You are you are a legend. But you've been such an inspiration to me, and I think my endorphins are raising now. I think my dopamine is high, and I'm cured. Anything I was feeling bad about, I'm all done now. So thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Call the Nurse. We'll put all of Cedric the Entertainer's links on the podcast description, and I will see you back next shift.
All right.
I almost peed my pants because I was laughing, and
that was great.